Hey Buns, you ever gotten real mad and angry about something in Final Fantasy XIV? Ever had a bun to pick with somebody? I think that my most rage moments have been cataloged on the channel already. Like the time that I got crazy mad about a hairstyle. Like, why did I get so mad about that? I don't know, but also the time I got mad about the lack of dialogue choices in Stormblood. I took to Twitter to ask, what is the most rage moment you have had in Final Fantasy XIV? Haven't looked at these at all yet, so let's hop to it. Deep Dungeon is the source of all my bitterness in life. It stresses me out, so I'm always on edge. I queued with this guy that would just wander and die. I told him to stay with the party twice so we can clear it ASAP, right? But he would just walk in circles and not DPS at all. When confronted, he said, "I'm just doing what you told me, staying with the party." Smiley face. So petty. Needless to say that I stopped DPSing as well. I wanted to be useful, but I couldn't let him win. During the boss, our teammates were like, "Are you guys serious?" I mean, you match the pettiness, and that is very entertaining. Day one of new patch, when I was going through story and doing Warrior of Light, and people couldn't mash. Mechanics aren't a problem, they just can't mash. Mash? You should try going with Lalafels next time. I think they mash pretty well. Seeing the Hydados weapon models. The Hydados is the final stage of Eureka. So this was the final form of the Eureka relics, and I remember somebody once telling me they thought that the Dragoon weapon looked like a toilet scrubber, and I cannot get that out of my head. Solo farming the OG primals for Nightmare, and then leaving an instance and seeing that it dropped right as I zoned in. Oh, I guess like right as you left the instance, you noticed in your chat that it had dropped and you left it behind. I went through all the stages of grief. It's like whenever you buy stuff at the grocery store and then you pay and you just leave, just walk out, and the cashier has to run after you and say, "Hey, you forgot your items, the reason that you came here." The time I was on Dragoon and my FC leader decided to be funny while tanking and spin the boss in circles, so I missed every positional. I wanted to cry. Look, if my FC leader did that, I would just stop doing positionals. I would just stand in one spot. Just don't do positionals. I'd be like, I'm not going to play these games. You want me to have 4% less DPS? Fine. Fine. Going through any quest line, minding my own business, and Moogles show up. Heaven's Ward main story quest, Moogles. Iblis raids, Moogles. Dark Knight quest, to find the inner darkness and harness the abyss. Have you tried asking the Moogles? They're wonderful. I see this as the opposite of a problem. This is like a thing that fills me with joy, not rage. They are lazy little bastards though, so I see why they might not be as charming for everyone. I'm a new player, waited an hour for Labyrinth of the Ancients so I could progress the main story quest. I got up to get a drink and the instance popped and I didn't hear it. I ended up missing the instance and got penalized for banning the raid. Hey, let me tell you something. A really effective way to make your very, very long queue pop is to just get up and go do something. It's like the game has a sensor where it can tell when you're not there, and that's when it's going to pop your queue. Like, this will happen a lot. I always imagine that last DPS that clicks yes, like at the very last second, has just come running from the bathroom with like their pants down. Healer pulling me ahead with rescue when I'm just trying to aggro the mobs. I use 2 AoE GCDs to somewhat ensure they stay focused on me as I'm running towards the next pack. This has happened multiple times, and all times I just leave the dungeon. So it has been. So it shall be. Pro tip for healers, if you don't like how fast your tank is gathering up the mobs and you feel like you need to rescue them forward just to speed things up a little bit, I want you to think about maybe not playing a healer and playing a tank instead. If you don't like the pace that your tank is going at, you should tank. Was running Baelsar's wall with a tank that was just returning to the game. His gear wasn't great, and he was pulling single packs, so the run was a bit slower. The healer and the other DPS decided to kick him right before the final boss. I was so angry with him. Oh my god. That's super nasty. You know, I think that is reportable. I'm pretty sure that is reportable. What's really messed up is that they kicked him right before the final boss just to like spite him, just to twist the knife. That's so horrible. Farming mounts and extreme content can cause me to rage. The amount of times I've done super well, only to see the whistle and go to the red major dancer who died so many times that pool makes me so upset. End up farming up to 80 plus totems before I can finally get him out. Don't you know that the worse you do on an extreme trial, like the better your chances are of getting the whistle? Like that's actually how it works. Like the more times you die, the more bone stacks you get. It increases your probability of winning. So I don't make the rules. I've been running Copied Factory for 4 months almost every day. Never rolled above 70 for the damn minion. Just want my pod. That sounds like a case of pod luck. When a pair of white mages decide to spam glare on the last boss of Puppet's Bunker instead of LB3 when they're the only 2 alive in the Alliance. First of all, how do you have only 2 people alive in the last boss of Puppet's Bunker? Well, I guess that question kind of answers itself. A new adventure asked me to help him or her complete some of Realm Reborn and Heavensward dungeons and Trial unsynced. I played with him or her for like 10 dungeons in Trials, just the 2 of us. And when I said I was leaving, they didn't even say thank you. I know they don't have to, but still. I felt used. Not too much rage. Quiet rage. You would think that, like, maybe you had made a friend, but they don't even say thank you. Just leave? That's horrible. That's sad. That's more sad than enraging. I tried out Lord of Verminion. I closed the XIV window. Not log out. Shut down. Closed. I won't even do idle and lose for the challenge log. I refuse to touch it ever at all. Typing this angers me. I hate that game as much as I hate Asahi. P.S. I do collect minions. I mean, like, I don't like it, but it's like, doesn't enrage me that much. Anytime my friend and I would go out and grind any of the trial mounts, he would always beat me to the mount within 5 points every single time. Have you tried playing worse? I had an 84-minute run in Never Wrap at the beginning of Heavensward with 3 first-timers that ignored everything I said to them and proceeded to ignore all mechanics. We failed all boss at least 5 times. I never hated myself so much, but I was too mad that leaving would have been their win. After that, my info message was Never Wrap, and I left for the whole expansion. I agree. Never Wrap. Being told that mitigation is optional as a tank and that the healer should pick up the slack on this alliance raid that they are griefing. World of Darkness, by the way. The healers are griefing because the tanks shouldn't have to use mitigation. That's a new one. I was in an alliance raid, and I usually explain the most important mechanics right at the start so we avoid mistakes. When we started the fight, though, someone said, I don't need you to explain to me and my friends how the game works. We wiped 6 times at the first boss. It's almost like there's some connection between people that refuse to listen to any help, advice, or tips and people that are terrible at the game. It's almost like there's a cause and effect happening here. I was farming memories for the current relic weapon. I read you needed 60 memories of X, Y, and Z. My mind translated it to 60 of each, so I spent a whole day grinding 180 fates to get my relic weapon. I noticed my misunderstanding when I had all 180 and wanted to exchange them for the augmented version. Well, now you can get extra weapons, I guess. Wiped in a Stormblood dungeon because we're near TPK, boss at 5%, and the DPS wouldn't use her LB. She insisted that ranged DPS LB only does non-lethal damage, and it was rude and wasteful of me to ask her to use it. Non-lethal. I was new to healing and had to do Chrysalis for the Realm Reborn main story quests, and the other healer was also new. And after one wipe, the tank says, I can't deal with another group with bad healers, and leaves. Were you griefing the tank by making him use cooldowns? Party leader politely asks other alliances to hold on a minute so they can explain mechanics to us. Random pulls the boss anyway after everyone else agreed to wait. Someone said a classic Leroy moment. Well, we all know which game Leroy moved on to. I guess now he would say, at least I got Chocobo. So tell me about your most rage experiences that you have had in Final Fantasy XIV. Is it healers rescuing you into crap you don't want to be rescued into? Is it people being impatient with you and you're a new player? Is it you as a healer griefing the tank by making them use cooldowns? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow Warriors of Darkness. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.